Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nishitha. On my channel, you will find a lot of product reviews, mainly foundations, sometimes makeup tutorials, also skincare reviews. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Today's video is going to be yet another foundation review, and this is from the brand Givenchy. It's their Everwear 24-hour satin finish full coverage and comfort foundation with SPF 20. One of you requested that I do a review on this foundation, and I placed an order during the Sephora VIP sale. So in today's video, we are going to be applying this and doing a wear test on it. So I got this shade Y305, which clearly is very light for me. Online I couldn't figure out. I should have probably gone with 310 or 315, but this is what I have on my cheeks. This could be a good match, but around my chin and forehead it will definitely pull ashy. I have a feeling about that. So let's see what this foundation claims to do. Whether this has a strong scent. I don't like when foundations have such strong scents because I have sensitive skin and they tend to break me out. But let's just hope that doesn't happen with this foundation. So this one retails for $52 freaking. It's a luxury brand, obviously. And you do get 1 ounce of product, which is standard for every foundation. So it's a foundation with up to 24-hour wear with medium to full coverage, which is going to blur imperfections, hydrate, and even out the complexion for a flawless natural finish. So it's supposed to be for all skin types, and it has SPF 20 in it. So let's see if it's a physical sunscreen or yeah, it is actually a physical sunscreen. I see, I think it's a mix of both because I see octinoxate and titanium dioxide. Titanium is the physical part and the I can't pronounce it. Anyways, I think it's a mix of both. So this has a fragrance in it, even though it's at the bottom of the list. When you smell it, it is actually strong. It's not as faint. And alcohol is the 4th ingredient in it. So if you have sensitive dry skin issues, please keep that in mind. This might not be the ideal foundation just by looking at the ingredients. So let's get started with the application. One side I'm going to use my beauty blender, and on the other side I'll use a brush to blend out this foundation. Before that, let me swatch this. You can see it's a bit light. I usually prefer to go with the shade darker with my foundations, but this is what I have right now. So I'm gonna start bouncing it on my face using my beauty blender. Actually, you know what? Let me pull you guys in closer so you can see better. Okay, right off the bat, ignore the shade match. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. You can obviously see it's looking grey in this area. But on my cheeks, it looks like an okay match. I can definitely do better. I feel like it has oxidized just a little bit. Let me do the oxidization test on the back of my hand. But I'm really hoping it would oxidize even more than this. But the coverage is definitely there. I applied very little bit of it. So I want to say it gave me coverage a little bit above medium. I want to see like how much coverage it will give on this area will you be able to cover the acne spots here. I love the finish of the foundation. It looks very natural on the skin, but at the same time it's giving me coverage and evened out my skin tone beautifully. The scent kind of disappears once you apply it on your face. You don't smell it as much. You can see like even though my beauty blender is damp, this particular foundation is not looking extra dewy or anything like that. So with brush, I want to see how this works. So this is like a brand new swatch. And this is the swatch I've had on my skin for about 3 minutes now. As you can see, it has changed its color very little bit, but it's nothing too drastic. But I'm hoping it would oxidize a little bit more than this, just so that it would match my skin better. So if you have same undertones as me, which is golden, and if you're like shade or half a shade lighter than me, this 305 would be a really good match because the undertone is really nice on this one. So I'm going to move on to this side and start blending it out using a brush. Okay, the blendability of this foundation is really great. Like I thought at first it was going on a little bit streaky, but once you start blending it out, within like seconds, it meshes in with your skin really well. But I personally prefer my damp sponge because the foundation on its own does not provide you with any kind of hydration. You can probably see on the side where I used a brush, it looks a little bit more matte when compared to the side where I used my damp sponge. So I definitely personally prefer a damp sponge with this foundation. So coverage wise, you can see I did use a very little bit of it. I don't think it was able to cover this spot, but the spots that I had that fading away, it was able to do like a decent job covering them. So I'm going to layer a little bit in this area and see if I can cover those up. Coverage is definitely a medium with one layer. You can build it up a little bit more, but it's not going to be like a super full coverage foundation. Like you can see that, the spot, it's not, even after layering, it's not doing a really good job covering it all. But that's fine. I don't mind even if it doesn't have like a super full coverage, but coverage is not bad. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can actually see it on my laptop screen that this side of my face looks a little bit paler when compared to this side. I feel like the shade has adjusted right now, because the slight oxidization that's happening. I love the finish of this. I honestly did not think I was going to like the finish or like the foundation at all, but so far it's blowing me away. Usually when a foundation is, especially when it comes to luxury foundations, I tend to be extra critical, because if I'm paying that much money extra when compared to my drugstore foundations and other high-end foundations that are not as expensive, it better be damn good. Like it better make me go, oh wow, this foundation, $52 makes sense, or it will be worth eventually. So far, it's giving me that feeling. Like I love how natural this looks on my skin. But one thing I will say though, if you have extra dry skin, I don't think you will like this foundation very much. Or this would not be the first foundation that I would recommend for you, because it does not provide you with any kind of hydration. For me personally, I moisturized my skin. It's not feeling drying or tight on my skin, but I can definitely tell that I've used the other foundations that are much more hydrating than this one. And alcohol is the fourth ingredient. So if you have extra dry skin, keep that in mind as well. Alcohol can be a little bit drying on the skin. But so far, like ignoring the fragrance and the alcohol, I just love the finish of this foundation and how lightweight this feels on my skin. So now I'm gonna go off camera, apply the rest of my makeup. When I get back, I'll tell you guys how everything laid on top. So I'll see you all in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back. It's currently 12:50, almost 1 o'clock. I think I started the wear test. I started applying the foundation around 11 o'clock. So it's been already 2 hours since I've had this foundation on, and rest of my makeup blended out beautifully on top. I had no issues whatsoever. And since the foundation has this naturally matte finish, there was no tugging whatsoever when I was blending out my contour and blush. And the foundation still feels very weightless on the skin. It looks very natural. In this studio lighting, I might look a little bit washed out, but I was just in my bathroom and there was only natural lighting there. And actually the shade looks like a really good match. There was a little bit of grayness going on around my mouth and forehead, but next time I could totally make this shade work for me with a color corrector. But I stand by what I said earlier, that if you have extra dry skin, I don't think you like this foundation very much, because I do have some dry patches here. I feel like it's kind of exaggerating those. It feels a little bit tacky, but surprisingly there is no transfer. Other than this area, I personally think this foundation is looking very flawless. It's giving me coverage, but it does not look heavy or makeup-y. So far, I'm like impressed. I want to see how it performs throughout the day. Maybe as my natural oil is peeking through, this dryness might be taken care of. Sometimes foundations do that. When you first apply them, they might look a little bit drying on the skin, but as the day goes on, once your natural oils start peeking through, they can actually surprise you and look very good on your skin. So yeah, those are my thoughts at this 2 hour points. I'm going to continue with the wear test now. I'll see you all in my next check-in. Hey guys, it's currently 4 p.m. right now. So it's been 3 hours since I last saw you guys. I think it was around 1 o'clock. And so far it's been good. Like I said, right now my natural oils are peeking through a little bit. I am looking dewy in certain areas, but not to a point where it's making me go say, oh, I look shiny, I look horrible. It's actually a really good dew. I was hoping this would happen. So far, I like the foundation. But one thing I will say is that it is slightly cracking in my smile lines. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see how this foundation looks after wearing it for 5 hours. I haven't done like any touch-ups since. So you can see a little bit of my oil peeking through, but it's not too bad. I actually like that because, you know, it feels much more hydrating than it did when I first applied it. So that's my midday check-in. I'll do one last check-in at the end of my day and share my final thoughts with you all. So yeah, I'll see you all in the evening. Well, it's already evening, I think. So I'll see you all in the night. Well, I'll see you all in a few hours. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back. It's currently 8:12. So I've had this foundation on for 9 hours at this point. And I have to say, it held up really well. You can still see my blusher on top. It has come off a little bit in this area. That's probably because I took a nap. But on this side, it's actually intact. The foundation has come off a little bit from my chin. I can see some bald spots in this area. And wherever I have some dry patches here, it's clinging onto them. So like I said, this foundation is not ideal if you have extra dry skin. But if you have normal to oily skin types, if you're looking for a long lasting foundation which is going to give you, like, you know, a good amount of coverage, this one is a really good option. The best part about this is that even though it gives you that full, almost full coverage, it does not look makeupy or heavy. Even right now, after wearing it for 9 hours, I don't see like any place where it looks makeupy and heavy on the skin. It still feels very lightweight on the skin. It doesn't transfer at all. And you can still see all the foundation on my skin. But being said that, I personally wouldn't like to wear this foundation on a day-to-day basis because of the ingredients, obviously the alcohol and the fragrance in it. More than alcohol, fragrance is what bothers me. So if you have sensitive skin, keep that in mind. And if you have extra dry skin, like I said, this foundation on its own is not going to give you any hydration. You can still probably give it a try, but make sure you use good hydrating products underneath or mix in a beauty oil with this foundation. All in all, I think it's a great foundation. It does give you the luxury feels. But it totally depends on your personal preference, whether you would want to have those ingredients in your foundation or not. Formula wise, it performed really well. So that completes this review. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on my future uploads. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.